Hi guys, it's Renee. How are you? Yes, you have seen this makeup before. Yes, you've probably seen this outfit before because we are filming multiple videos in the same day. We're trying to be consistent in order to put out consistent content and try to grow this channel um, so that I can share this hobby that I enjoy with others who may find it to be similarly enjoyable. Anyways, welcome to my channel. Here is where we discuss all things pretty, namely makeup, fragrance, and beauty. Occasionally, I might sprinkle in a little bit of off-the-cuff commentary because I am a tangential person. So, never mind that. Dive on in. Let us talk about some fragrances. And guess what? It's a haul, y'all. I know the last video that I posted to my channel, I was like, I've been buying, just because I haven't been talking to YouTube about the things I've been enjoying doesn't mean that I haven't been delving deeper into fragrances. I'm just now trying to bring some of them to the channel. So we will get started. So I think first we'll start off by saying a lot of these are, or these that I'm about to bring up, are pre-owned fragrances. One of our own YouTubers, her channel is Experiencing Fragrances with Amina. She is moving, I think, or has already moved, but at the time of my purchase, she was having a declutter. And she was decluttering some of the black and white labels of the original Aaron Terrence Hughes fragrances. Now, I'm a big fan of his fragrances. I do have quite a few of them. He's put out a lot more, a lot more. I have not gotten into a lot of the newer ones, but that's just not for lack of trying or a lack of desire, but mostly because there's so many other things that I want to explore that I just haven't gotten there yet. However, these are some of the original ones from when he first launched his brand and she was selling them, so I bought them as a quartet. And the first one here is Deviant. I don't know if you can see the label. It arrived like this. It's probably from, from when she first bought the fragrance. There's an oil spill, or like when the fragrance, if it leaks at the lid. But yeah, this is quite an oily, heavy fragrance. All of these are good things. Aaron Terrence Hughes fragrances, if they do nothing else, they last. And this one is a Violet Delirium. This one, she hasn't worn a whole lot of it, but having also worn this one the most of the four that I bought from her, I can tell you, it doesn't need a lot. You need maybe one or two sprays from this bad boy before you overpower the entire room that you're in. So, it may not seem like a lot that has been used out of this bottle by Amina, but I feel like, you really don't need a lot. And this was a very unique purchase for me because I haven't dived deeply into florals, particularly violet. And I was very surprised as this was the first one that I reached for, the first one that I sprayed, and the one that I enjoy the most currently. Next up is this one called Celestia. Honestly, the jury is really still out on how I feel about this. It's very perfumey. Very perfumey, like old school perfumey, and yet there's something that I like about it. I don't know. I'm working it out, and this is the best of the lot. Chocolate, Rose, and Oud. Second only to Deviant has my favorites. Anyways, those are just some recent acquisitions. Next up, I wanted to explore some of the Middle Eastern perfumes that are on offer. There's been a lot of buzz recently about some of the new fragrances that have been put out by Lattafa Fragrances. So I picked up this one from their side house called Maison Alhambra, and this is Kismet for Men. I really enjoy this. This is a lot like earthy, woody, but with a ton of dried fruits, and the presentation is on point. Lattafa is really stepping their game up. I like this a lot. I'm looking forward to delving into that deeper. Next up from Lattafa, this one is called Eternal Oud, and this is one of their more recent outputs. Most recently launched products. This one is part of their Pride collection, I think it is. Does it say it on there? Yeah, it says Lattafa Pride on the bottom. Yeah, this is one of their most recent ones from their Pride collection. It came in a stand with a cover on it which broke. It was broken when it showed up, so what else, I threw it out. It was plastic anyway, but you know what's the gem is the fragrance. I have worn it only twice so far, but let me tell you something, I have enjoyed it. And the 2 times that I've worn it, people have asked me what I was wearing and wanted the name of the fragrance. So I have been more than willing to share, and I have enjoyed this a great deal. Man, I am so surprised at the quality of this fragrance, given the price. And well, it's not last up, honestly. Next up would be this one by Haramain. This is Amber Oud Rouge edition. This one recently came back into stock, and it's been sold out for a while, and I want to say that they may be getting rid of it altogether. I don't know if Maison Francis Kurt John was like, you know what, y'all better stop over there. I'm not quite sure, but this one has been out of stock for a good minute. And I'm not like big into Baccarat Rouge, but I do like Haramain's versions of a lot of the ones that they clone. So I decided to go ahead and get this one for completion's sake, but also because I think Baccarat Rouge is an amazing fragrance to layer fragrances with. And so I thought I would get this and see how that would work out. Thus far, I've worn it by itself a couple of times and I do enjoy it, but I've also worn it with other fragrances. Gotta say, it's a winner. Like if you are unsure of what to layer a scent with, but it's something that you wanted to make it sort of almondy and a little bit woody and airy, then, you know, Haramain Amber Oud Rouge edition is a great one to layer fragrances with, which is the primary purpose for which I bought it. And the last of the Middle Eastern ones, but certainly not the least, is this one from Swiss Arabian. This is part of their Wawa, I think something. Baby, don't make me lie to you. It's part of their new fragrance launch. They have several of these. So the numbers are significant to the history of the fragrance foundation of Swiss Arabian. So there is Rose 01, there is Amber 01 and Amber 07. This is Amber 07. There is Musk 01 and Musk 07. And there is Oud 01, Oud 07, and Oud 74. So far, the only one that I have picked up is Amber 07, and I love this. This is a sweet, earthy, very nuanced amber fragrance. There's like a lot of dried fruits, almost like raisins in here. There's something somewhat plumish in here. It smells sort of boozy. The patchouli is heavy. I love this amber. My goodness. I cannot wait to pick up Amber 01 and see what that one's about, because I love amber fragrances, for those who don't know. So I cannot wait to check them out. The other ones that I cannot wait to check out are the Oud ones, 01, 07, and 74. I would love to acquire those. Unfortunately, there's no way to really like test them. You sort of have to just buy them and see if you like them or not. I do think that based on the note breakdown, I would probably like them, because I do like a lot of oud based fragrances. And the beauty of a lot of oud fragrances is that they're woods. So if you don't like them by themselves, you can always layer things on top of them. That, especially fragrances that are a little bit too light and a little airy, and you want to add something to give them some sort of depth or longevity of wear. You can always just add an oud based fragrance to it. All right, now we are going to stick with the House of Swiss Arabian, but move to a different method of delivery for fragrances. And these four are perfume oils that I have from them. These are their concentrated perfume oils. Now, I did a video like a year plus ago, and I mentioned fragrance oils that I have in that video. Just because I have not brought that to my channel nor spoken further about it does not mean that I have stopped utilizing them nor acquiring them. And these are some of the four that I have with me while I am here in Florida. And two of them are pretty recent acquisitions, but all of them are fairly recent. You can tell the ones that I like the most because they get used a lot. And this one is called Hayaa, H-A-Y-A-A, Hayaa, maybe. I love Swiss Arabian because their most recent ones come with a roller ball. Love that. So it's very easy. Instead of the dipstick that you would have to dip in, and then the reason why this one is used so much is that this one had the dipstick, and my mother also enjoys these, but she didn't put the roller ball on, so I pulled out the dipstick out of this and stole one of her roller balls and put it in there. But this, I enjoy this. There's a lot of oud in this. This is like woody, deep, kind of dark fragrance oil. I used to just like pull out the dipstick and just like pour it in my hand and just wipe my whole body in it. I also, because there's no alcohol in here, I have poured it into some of the oils from my locks, and just generally very liberally used this bad boy because initially it was the first one that I had. Others that I have brought into the fold include this one. I have not used this one very much because I've been wearing heavier fragrances, so this one has not had much occasion to get used. This one is called Secret Musk. It's a very clean, very flowery, floral, but still very clean sort of musk, like just stepped out of the shower. If you wanted to smell like clean, floral, well put together without being too much, this is a fragrance oil that you could lay over any one of those clean aesthetic type of fragrances. As a matter of fact, I have a fragrance by Maison that is called Stop What You're Doing. That fragrance would work amazing over this. You know what? That might just be my fragrance for tomorrow. We're gonna see how it goes, boo. All right, and my most recent acquisition, like I haven't even used it. And you know that because the dipstick is still in it. I haven't taken it out yet and put the roller ball in. And this one is called Secret Oud. Now, this has been on my wish list for the longest, but this bad boy just like disappeared. And recently I was just prowling around, going through my wish list to see if any of the fragrances or things that I wanted to obtain were back in stock, and this one was in stock from somebody in Texas, so I just bought it on the spot and it showed up yesterday. So I'm giving it some time to settle, and then usually what I do is like I utilize what's on the dipstick as my scent and then pull the dipstick out so that nothing is wasted. So we'll let this one, I'll probably use it in my hair tomorrow, and then put the roller ball in. And then the other one that I have here with me that has been getting plenty of use. Oh, I'm sorry, did I tell you what that one was? This one is called Secret Oud. And this one is very much an oud rose. Oh, oud rose. There is lots of citruses up front. It's very pretty. You know how it's like a candied jammy sweet rose, a sort of fruity rose. You know how sometimes when you get those road ooze combos, they can be a little bit, the rose is usually kind of spicy with sometimes made so by the saffron that can be in it, or the patchouli that can be in it. This one is a very rose heavy, but that rose is a fruity, sweet, sort of jammy type of rose. The oud is present, but it's very easy, very light, to wear type of thing. Not that it's light in the scent profile, but like easy to wear oud. And then this one is called Private Oud, which honestly, babies, this is my favorite. Listen, let me tell y'all. This is so good. This is so good. Yo, if y'all get nothing else, buy this. Buy this. For any of you folks that love oud bouquet, if you love Shagaf Oud, if you love Shagaf Oud Aswad by Swiss Arabian, if you love, what's the one from Lattafa? One of, oh, wow, it's mood something. Not much. One of the four moods ones that you have from Lattafa. And anything else that like falls within the genre of fragrances that imitate oud bouquet, this is up your wheelhouse. This is oud, the same types of like candied rose, beautiful woody oud. This has also caramel at the base. It's sort of musky, it's very sweet, it's caramelly. This is gourmand, if there was ever a gourmand. The caramel is heavy in this. The rose, not so much, but the rose is there. It's just not as sweet as the rose that's in here. But what is very sweet and very prominent is the caramel that's at the base of this. Gorgeous. Sometimes I just wear that by itself. I have no complaints. Anyways, moving on, we're gonna stick in the vein of Middle Eastern fragrances that I recently acquired. And this is Pekji is the brand, and Ruh is the name of the perfume. Now, babies, let me tell you something. This is not for the faint of heart. It's not. If you don't have the confidence, the personality to pull this off, if you are one of those where you don't want all the attention on you, if you don't want your fragrance to stand out, this is not that. This is bombastic. Do not overspray this. Do not overspray this. This does not go away. As a consequence, I would also not blind buy this. If this is not in your wheelhouse, if you don't like oud, rose, cardamom, coffee, amber fragrances, this is not for you. This is not for the faint of heart. The notes are conveniently here on the side. It says amber, cardamom, coffee, jasmine, musk, oud, patchouli, rose, saffron, and sandalwood. And you get all of those. I don't find the rose to be that prominent. However, I do get the jasmine. But what I primarily get is the cardamom, the coffee, the oud, the patchouli, that spicy saffron that mixes with the cardamom up top. That sandalwood might as well be non-existent. And then the amber and oud at the base. Baby, I love this. You know who would love this? My mom. My mom would love this. She would. If I were to ever let her come in contact with that, that would be a goner. Just call it a day. It will be out the door. All right, moving on. You know what? We'll leave this for last. We'll go with this one. This one is Acqua de Parma Nota de Colonia number 4. I was introduced to this perfume when I was visiting my friend Stephanie in Tampa. We went to Neiman Marcus, I think it was, and one of the essays there was taking us around and like just showing us a whole bunch of perfumes. And he happened to pull this one out, and I was not aware that Acqua de Parma had this brand, had this division within their brand. And he said, you know, I think given all the things you told me you like, you would probably like this one. And he let me smell it, and I was like, yes, 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 yes. I was not inclined to purchase at that time. However, I did end up purchasing later, and babies, this is a 120 milliliter bottle. She has been putting in work. This is good. This is good. This is good. This is good. When I don't know what to wear, when I do have those days where I don't want my fragrance to be overpowering because I'm going to work or I'm going to some event where I don't want, you know, I don't want that type of attention, this is the fragrance that I reach for. It smells good, it lasts long, it is a very pleasant smell. No one that I have met heretofore dislikes this smell. More importantly, I really like this smell. There's a very prominent note of orange blossom in here, which I like orange blossom. And it mixes very nicely with some of the other fragrances that I have in my collection that have orange blossom in them, so I do tend to layer them together. Either way, I love this, and I can see myself never really wanting to part with it. And I've only had it for a very short time. Next up is Secrets de Paradis Rouge from Jules et Mad. I just love the story behind this house. My first fragrance from them was Garuda, which I heartily enjoy. And the other one that I have my beady little eyes on, lies, my eyes are not beady, is Amor de Palacio, which is their amber and leather fragrance. So that is next up in my path. And this one is so pretty. This is an amber fragrance. Most of the ones that I enjoy from that house are amber fragrances. But this primarily is a lot of like pretty florals, particularly sweet florals. This is a lot of orange blossom. Love it, just love it. It's orange blossom with some woods and some sweetness, and I cannot be mad. And like all of the Jules et Mad fragrances that I've tried out, it does not clock out early so far. Again, this is not an in-depth review. You know, this is a haul. This is a recent acquisition. I've sprayed it a couple of times. I've worn it to bed a couple of times. I've woken up in the morning and it has been present still. But you know, I need to test it out in different environs of wear to see like where the fragrance goes with me. And last two are from Ramon Monegal, and this is Flamenco and this is Olé. Ramon Monegal has become a house that I have heartily enjoyed. We started with Fiza. No, that's not true. That's not true. I started with Kiss My Name, which we had to grow into her. I wasn't mature enough for Kiss My Name. We had to grow into her. And then we got Fiza, then we got Next to Me, and then La Isla Blanca. And now we have Flamenco and Olé. And both of these are such beautiful fragrances. However, if I had to choose my favorite from amongst the two, Flamenco. She is killing the game. I mean, Olé is gorgeous. It's gorgeous. These are two very lovely, feminine leaning fragrances, but certainly a man can pull them off. But Flamenco is the one that holds my heart the most. All right, guys, that is a haul, y'all. Thanks for stopping by and spending some time with me. I hope y'all enjoy your day or evening. It's night. Yeah, it's like 10 o'clock. Whatevs. I'm up. We're doing it. Bye, guys.